Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to a look back on the Brentford win from Saturday, and also a look ahead to Club Brugge second leg on Wednesday. I'm going to have a look back at Brentford first of all, and then come on to Club Brugge. But before I start, I just wanted to send out a get well soon message to Pete Shard from the Holy Trinity. It's a channel that I follow every time. I love his content, love what he does. I understand that he's unwell at the moment, sort of with, I think, pneumonia. So best wishes, Pete, and I hope you get well soon, mate. And I look forward to seeing the content once again. But yeah, going on to the Brentford game. Looking back, fantastic 3 points, unbelievable. I mean, to be honest, it was more than I predicted. I had us down for either a defeat or best case scenario, maybe a draw. There's no way that I saw us, kind of coming out of that game with 3 points. And then even, having looked at the team lineup an hour before the game, and you're seeing Robin Olsen in goal, no Asensio, even though I just added him to my dream team. And it was like, okay, well, what's the best we can get here? Maybe a draw perhaps, or Robin Olsen's not been the greatest goalkeeper and his history's not brilliant. So I was very kind of skeptical, kind of going into the game prior kickoff. But I've got to give credit where it's due. Always have to. Robin Olsen probably had his best game for Aston Villa. Clean sheet, which doesn't happen often when he's playing. He was holding on to things. His kicking was good. He was coming for crosses. So, Robin Olsen, mate, round of applause for you. And also for Olsen and Disasi as well, playing in a right back. Obviously, Garcia was available for this, but was on the bench. Cash was also on the bench, but he came on later on in the second half, at halftime, I think it was. But Disasi played right back for us and was an absolute monster. He had Sade that he was up against most of the game, and I thought he played him really well as well. So another kind of round of applause for Olsen and Disasi there on his birthday as well. Rightly so, kind of picking up man of the match, I reckon, as well. So, but let's looking into the game in a bit more detail. Brentford, were one place below us before kickoff, looking to close the gap. I think there were 4 points the difference was then, and they were looking to sort of close that. And they had Mbuemo and Wissa playing for them, which is always going to be a danger. Sade on the wing as well is always a danger for them. But I did always say that I felt that their centre-backs could be got at. Defensively, they're not the best. And I felt as though we would have chances in the game. It's just whether we would take them or not. And if we could outscore Brentford, which was a big thing, really. So, I mean, starting the game, I think there was an early chance for Brentford, actually, which sort of Mings kind of blocks off the line. But I think it was offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. But it was great seeing sort of Mings, in that defence with Konsa. Hopefully he's going to be okay to play on Wednesday as well. But I thought he had a really strong game at centre back as well. Just he's coming back to the Mings that we've seen before, and it was great to see him with the captain's armband when McGinn came off after the hour mark, I think it was, because I think Mings is our natural kind of leader and has been our leader, getting us from sort of the Championship back into the Premier League. And, I know Emi's taken the captain's armband when McGinn has come off and Mings hasn't, been in that sort of running. But obviously with Martinez not playing either, it was obviously Mings left there to take the captain's armband. And I really felt that his presence, his vocal leadership really helped to see us through in this game. So, blocked by Mings early on, but probably wouldn't have counted because of the offside. Jacob Ramsey having a chance as well. Nice breakaway from Villa. Digne offering the overlap on the left. Ramsey cutting in, curling a shot which looked goal-bound. And I think it deflected off Nathan Collins and went over the bar. That was an early chance there. And then Mings had a chance as well in the first half. Great free kick delivery from Yuri Tielemans. Picks out Mings like near the penalty spot, I think it was, or just maybe a bit closer. Just couldn't sort out his feet. I don't know what he kind of wanted to do there. He just tried to do a kind of half volley or something. But I think maybe if you let the ball run across his body, hit it with the right, easier to say, from me. But, he's obviously gone with it with the left, and then Flecken's made a save, and quite a comfortable save in the end. Then Yuri Tillemans had a nice little driving run in the first half, actually. I think he was looking for an option to pass. There was nothing there. So he decided to go on a little run, got his head up, and there wasn't very much options in the box to kind of pass the ball into. So he decided to have a shot kind of at the near post, which was saved by Flecken, and Brentford sort of scrambled it away. But I would say in the first half, Villa were creating the better chances. Brentford were dangerous, but I think Villa on the balance of play, I think they had the better chances in that first half. Second half, we get the early breakthrough. Great to see us actually kind of scoring early on in the second half as well. Good run from Ramsey, nice and positive, bringing the ball out kind of on the back, feeding the ball into Watkins early, out wide, lots of space. He's sort of peeled out there again. And then he sort of drives towards the box. He's got options in there. Rodgers is busting a gut to get in there. Ramsey's in there as well. But then Ollie Watkins just decides to hit it. And I think this is where we see the best of Ollie Watkins, is when he doesn't have time to think. And, I'll come on to his one against one attempted finish later in a moment as well. But I felt he's best when he doesn't have time to think. Just more of a reactive striker, put his foot through the ball, got a slight deflection, which I think maybe wrong-footed the goalkeeper or went through his legs. I'm not too sure, but just took it away from the keeper. But end of the day, a goal is a goal, regardless of how it goes in. And I just think Watkins there, just putting his laces kind of through the ball and smashing it, was exactly the right thing to do. So I don't think there was a pass on. So I'm glad he took it on, and he scored again against Brentford. I think that's 5 goals in his last 4 games against Brentford, something like that. 6 and 6, I think it might be as well. But he definitely knows how to find the back of the net against Brentford. Didn't want to over-celebrate against his former team, even though he was getting, booed pretty much all game long. But yeah, he did really well for the goal. And then, we could have wrapped up the game straight after that as well. We had another quick break. Ramsey again, who I thought Ramsey was probably our best attacking player on the pitch. I was kind of surprised to see him playing and get the nod over Rashford from the start. But, to be fair, he did really well against Club Brugge when he came on. And again here, I thought he was really, really good. So driving with the ball, showing really good sort of pace and even strength to hold off a couple of players, and then playing the ball into Watkins. Watkins drives towards the byline, cuts it back to Rodgers, who's making that sort of late run, and Rodgers finds the back of the net. Just unfortunate that the pass from Ramsey was just delayed, and the flag, the flag didn't go up, but the VAR obviously checked it and determined that Watkins was slightly, just a little bit offside. But there was not a lot in it at all, and that was frustrating, because I felt as though if it was at 2-0 at that point, we could have went on to get maybe 3, maybe 4 even, because I think Brentford would have tried to press, and we could have caught them more and more on the kind of counter attack. But it wasn't to be. Morgan Rodgers' goal was chalked off. But yeah, we didn't let the heads drop, really. We had another chance kind of late on. I mean, Brentford had their chances. I mean, they were peppering the goal. I mean, Disasi made some wonderful tackles. 2 in particular. One on Lewis Potter, who I think they were, saying it was a penalty. Not a penalty for me. And then one on Kevin Sade as well. And he celebrates these tackles like he scored a goal. I mean, I love the passion. That's what that's what defending is about, is having passion. And if you're making that last ditch kind of tackle, that is like scoring a goal. And I like the way that he sort of celebrated that and showed the passion about it. So he did really well on 2 occasions there, Disasi. Showed good strength, good speed. He was actually showing some good touches on the ball, actually. There was one point in the second half where it's near the corner flag, and he's doing kind of step overs and little feints and here and there, trying to keep the ball up that side of the pitch, and wins us a throw late on in the game. So I thought Disasi was brilliant, and I'll come on to my player ratings in a moment as well. I think Lewis Potter had a shot which hit the base of the post as well late on for Brentford. So they were having chances. There was a few deliveries into the box which were scrambled clear. There was one, I think, a corner that came in that bounced in the 6-yard box and then went out the other side. And, so it was kind of, holding on to the win. But Watkins did have a chance late on in the game. And this is the thing about Ollie Watkins, that he's a very instinctive kind of finisher without thinking. You saw it against like Arsenal, for example, that finish that he did there, very instinctive, no chance to think, just hit it. This one here against Brentford, just hit it again. But when he has that time, and he ran from his own half, and he had acres of time. We've seen this from Ollie Watkins before. I'm pretty sure we have, where if he just has that time to think about what to do and where to put it, he overthinks it. He's decided this time to go with a little dink when it was never really on. Flecker never really kind of went down, or never really showed he was going to commit himself to a dive. I felt Watkins, he could have smashed it earlier. He could have went across the goalkeeper. There was a gap at the near post. I just think he needs to work on his one-on-one finishing, because he's got, 13 goals this season in the Premier League. Easily could have 20 already. Easily. The amount of chances he's missed. And, without, slagging him off too much, his finishing is poor. It is. It's Gabby Agbonlahor-esque. Agbonlahor was good with that instinctive finish again. And Ollie Watkins is the same. I don't think he's a natural kind of goal scorer and cool in front of goal. If you gave him 5 one-on-ones and you gave me 5 one-on-ones, I probably would back myself to outscore Ollie Watkins on one-on-ones. He's just not clinical enough. And this is why the likes of Arsenal, and that's not going to happen, because they will get frustrated. If he did go to Arsenal, they would get frustrated with him about the amount of chances that he would miss for them as well. So I don't think I think Villa is his level. I think he is a very good striker. Don't get me wrong, and what he does in and around the game is very effective. But just when he has those one-on-one chances, if Duran was running through one-on-one in that same situation, I probably would back Duran to score more times than Watkins. There's a lot of strikers in the Premier League that I would back in a one-on-one situation to score over Ollie Watkins. But he has his faults, but he also has his strengths as well. He's very hardworking. He's good at holding the ball up. He's good at bringing people into play now. He's selfless in terms of what he does for the team. He's defensively good when he comes back from like set pieces and things like that. So, this is not me bashing Ollie Watkins and saying, oh, he's rubbish, we need to get rid of him. But I do still think there are flaws in his game that he needs to work on. He needs to work on these one-on-ones. He could easily have had 7 or 8 more goals this season if he just knew how to kind of finish and when to do these dinks. When, go around a goalkeeper, trust your swinger a little bit more, perhaps, but there's been loads of occasions where he's been through on goal and, the confidence with himself has not been there for him to score. But when they're more instinctive, like it's a first time, it's a shot on the turn, or it's a header or something like that, I'm more confident Ollie Watkins will score those type of goals rather than sort of racing through one-on-one. That's why I don't fancy him on penalties, because penalties are pretty much, one-on-ones, aren't they, really, if you look at it. I never fancy him from penalties. I just feel like, no. I think Asensio and Rashford are probably ahead of him in the penalty rankings now. But yeah, I don't want to go too much on Ollie Watkins, but I just felt that he was the match winner. He got us to 3 points. He got us to goals, selfless running. What happens to Daniel Marlon? It's not worrying just yet, but the guy has been signed as a permanent signing. He's not eligible for the Champions League. So you've made that pretty clear that, you rate Rashford and Asensio, who are probably better players than Marlon, but they're both loan players, ahead of him. So it does kind of, I know he's been ill as well, but he came on literally with like seconds to go. You could have given Watkins a little bit of a breather before that. I think he brought on Cash in the second half, which I thought was actually a good move, because Bailey, for me, wasn't having a great game. And I'll come on to the player ratings in a minute, but I thought Bailey wasn't very good. Cash gave us a bit more defensively minded, and also gave us a little bit more getting forward as well in terms of the hard work and work rate and tracking back and doubling up. But I just felt like Ollie Watkins, he should be sitting there on 20 goals quite comfortably this season, but he's not. But anyway, right, player ratings for this one for Brentford. So Robin Olsen, first of all, he's up there as man of the match contender. If it wasn't for Disasi's performance, he'd probably have it. But I just thought he was good. Yeah, as I said, kicking was good, handling was good, claiming crosses was good. There was one late in the second half. He came out. I think Wissa was going to get there, and he sort of got there before. He made a couple of good saves. So I'm going to give Robin Olsen a 9 out of 10, which is unbelievable, really, because I've never thought I'd give him above a 5. But there you go, 9 out of 10 for Robin Olsen. Disasi at right back, for me, man of the match, sits there at 9 out of 10 as well. I thought he was very good. Konsa, steady. Eddie, I think I'll give him 7 out of 10. I thought he was good. Didn't do too much, but this is the thing about Konsa. I think he's the most underrated player in the Villa team. I think sometimes we take him for granted how good he is. And, it's almost like, Konsa's a good player. He plays every week almost, and he's just brilliant. And when he's not there, then you miss him. Mings for me as well, brilliant performance. I'm going to give him 8 out of 10. Lucadinha, I thought he handled Mbremo pretty well. Did really, really well against Mbremo. Got in early with his challenges as well. I don't remember Mbremo having that many chances, so I'm going to give Lucadinha 8 out of 10 as well. McGinn. I think he gave away the ball in the first half, and he looked a little bit tired, and obviously he came off quite early in this game. So I'm going to give McGinn a 6 out of 10. I don't really remember him doing too much in the game. Tielemans was better. Nice little driving run in the first half. Just makes us tick a little bit. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for Tielemans. Ramsey, who I thought was our best attacking player. Nice little acceleration bursts and good passing. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for Jacob Ramsey. Morgan Rogers, not his best game, really. Not his best one. I'll give him a solid 7. Leon Bailey started from the right. I know he did well against Bruges and opened the scoring for us and all that sort of stuff, but he just flatters. He doesn't give any comment. I don't get that same excitement when Leon Bailey has the ball now, when he used to have it last season, when he used to go past his man. I feel as though he's just going to trip himself up all the time. He just seems to be lacking confidence, lacking a bit of speed, a bit of edge. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he could do with coming out of the team for a little while. And if Asensio is back, then Asensio should be coming in. Jacob Ramsey looked like he should keep his place. Rashford's up there looking for a starting place too. So Bailey now is falling down the pecking order. For me, I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he did anything great in that first half that he was on for. So 5 out of 10 for Bailey. Watkins, getting the goal, hard-working, missed a chance at the end. It's typical Ollie Watkins. I'll give him a solid 7 for that one. And then the subs that came on, obviously Cash made a bit of a difference on that right-hand side. I thought defensively very good. Helped out Disasi quite a lot. Getting forward, didn't do too much, but I think at that point we were just at sort of consolidating. Well, not consolidating because it was half time, so we were trying to in the game. But I think we needed that extra insurance policy to help out Disasi a little bit there on the right hand side. I'll give Cash a 7 out of 10. Kamara, I love the guy. I think he's a tremendous footballer. Just the brains, the intelligence, the way that he plays, and makes everything look easy. I'll give him a solid 7 for Bouba Kamara. Who else came on? Martin didn't come on in this game. I can't think now. Rashford came on as well. Didn't do too much. Stayed wide. I don't remember him doing too much in the game. I'll give him a 6 for Rashford. Didn't get too much on the pitch there. Marlon, can't even give him anything because he was only on the pitch for about a minute. I think that was it. I think that was all the subs, as far as I remember. Let me know in the comments if I've left out anyone. But yeah, so it was a good game to watch. Good 3 points, an unexpected 3 points, and we're going to need to pick up these unexpected 3 points in these last 9 games. We're up to 7th now. I think only a few points now behind 5th position. So, we've got no more games now in the Premier League until April. I think it's Brighton away is next. So we've got the Champions League and the FA Cup now coming up, which we need to put a full focus onto both cup competitions. So let's look ahead to sort of Club Brugge on Wednesday. Second leg, Villa Park, with 3-1 up from the first game. Again, you just feel like the last 2 games, Bruges and Brentford, the result has gone our way. Chances have gone our way. I mean, when was the last time Villa profited from an own goal? Obviously, in the first leg against Bruges, I can't remember the last time a team scored an own goal against us. And then we get a third late on as well. It's like these things don't really happen to Villa, but they've happened. beating Brentford and kind of hanging on, but getting that deflected goal. Normally that kind of goal goes against us, but it's just nice to see the other side of the coin now. So yeah, Bruges, we've just played them recently, so we should know a lot about them and who their danger players are and style of play. And I feel that the next goal in this tie is crucial, absolutely crucial. If we can get it early at Villa Park on Wednesday, I think we kill the tie. I think that's it. If they get it, goodness, we're watching the rest of the game through our fingers, aren't we? That's it. So they are dangerous. They've got danger players. They played at the weekend as well. They played on Sunday, yesterday. So we've had a day's more rest than them, you can say. But they had a local derby against Club Brugge, the other Bruges-based team, who in fact they actually share the stadium. So the one they played at, they share the same one. So, but for Bruges, it was a walk in the park. They were 3-0 up at half time. And they were able to rest players. So they had Van Aken score and Jutlia get 2 for them. But at half time, they were able to take off Onyedika, who's their sort of CDM. On the hour mark, they took off Talbi, Ordonez, and Dezolis as well. So they all came off for sort of good, rest, being sort of 3-1 up at that point. And then, I think, Cercle Brugge were only like 13th in a 16-team league in Belgium, so they weren't a great opposition to play. But I think with Bruges, what we saw from the first leg is that, they know they can attack. They've got dangerous players. De Solis looked like a handful on the left. Talbi looks like an up-and-coming on the right. Jutlia looks like he's full of energy and running as a striker, and he's banging form. 2 goals again at the weekend. I think he's got like 7 in his last 5 games or 6 games or something like that. Anyway, but he's really just come to the fore in the last few weeks. Really, before that, he was just primarily a sub player, but he's done really well. Hans Van Aken, this veteran player who plays as a number 10, who's got a touch of class about him. He's a big unit as well. He's going to be a danger. They've got Maxim de Kuyper, the fullback who scored the first goal. He loves to bomb forward, and he will be getting forward at Villa Park. So, if Bailey is playing, then we need to watch that. I don't want us to go into the second leg like ultra defensive, trying to hang on to what we've got. I want us to go out and try to get the first goal and kill the tie. So, as much as Cash did well when he came on against Brentford to help solidify that right-hand side, I wouldn't want to start the game with Matty Cash on sort of right midfield. So hopefully Asensio is back. I'm sure it was a bit of an injury. Emi Martinez, same, apparently conjunctivitis, from what some people were saying. So hopefully he's back. My predicted lineup for Bruges will probably be Emi Martinez in goal, even though Robin Olsen did well. I don't want to be relying on Olsen again. Right back, we've got Disasi or Cash that can play there. I'm going to go with Axel Disasi, man of the match performance again. Konsa at centre back. Can Mings do 3 games in a week? If you can, then play him. If not, then you put Disasi and Konsa, put Cash at right back. But for me, Disasi right back, Konsa centre back, Mings left centre back. Don't break up that partnership just yet. First clean sheet in ages against Brentford. Let's try to keep that going. Luca Digne, who else at left back? Has to be in there. The CDMs, I'd be tempted to go with Boubacar Kamara from the start here, alongside Yuri Tielemans, and maybe give McGinn a bit of a rest for this one, and maybe bring on McGinn's energy kind of late on, maybe when we need it, because Kamara is there to kind of slow down and dictate tempo. That's what I think we need. We need the control in this game. I think Kamara gives you that control. So that would be me, Boubacar Kamara and Tielemans as the CDMs. Ahead of that, Ramsey's played really well in the last few games. You've got Rashford as well, who's also on the left too. So it's a toss-up between the both of them. Do you want to go with narrow kind of Ramsey, or do you want to go high and wide with Rashford? It depends on who you want to play on the right-hand side as well. So for me, I would go with Rashford, high and wide on the left. I would go with Asensio in the 10, and then Morgan Rogers as the right midfielder, but tucked in. So you're getting your width from the left-hand side with Rashford and Digne, really. So that works well because Disasi can sort of just sit in. Even Kamara can kind of sit in and just make that a solid kind of defensive unit, basically, which will allow Digne to get forward. Digne doesn't have to be the player that's, gets forward all the time. You could just give it to Rashford and provide overlaps and things like that. And then up front, you go with Ollie Watkins because, that's the option that we have. Donyell Marlon not eligible for this. So I think that's what I would like to see in terms of team lineup. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. What you think about the team lineup? What you think about Wednesday? First goal is crucial. We cannot be conceding against Club Brugge on Wednesday early, especially because then that will just totally make everyone edgy at Villa Park. If we can just get that first goal, and it will just be a weight off the shoulders. But we have to be focused on the game. We cannot go into it thinking, we're 3-1 up, we've got the cushion. Let's start it again from 0-0. Let's forget the first leg. Start this game as 0-0. It's an FA Cup. It's a cup final. Go out there and win the game. Focus on what you have to do. Play your strongest team. You've got enough in the bench. You've got Bailey. You'll have Ramsey. You'll have Matty Cash there. You'll have John McGinn there. You've got plenty of players that can come on and make a difference and freshen you up in the second half if needs be. But Bruges will be a difficult team to beat. They've rested their star players at least half an hour of the game on Sunday, so they'll have a freshness to them as well. And they are dangerous. Let's have it right. They can definitely come to Villa Park and score. And I just want to make sure that everything is tickety-boo, should we say, at Villa Park on Wednesday. So, yeah, but guys, look, if you made it this far in the video, appreciate it. Do subscribe. Drop me your comments as well. Drop your thoughts on the Brentford game. Let me know what you think about Club Brugge game on Wednesday. Are you going to it? How excited are you? What do you think is going to happen? What would you go with team lineup wise? But yeah, until the next video, guys, which will be on sort of Wednesday evening, I'll try to jump on to do an instant match reaction. Hopefully we're celebrating going through. And by then, hopefully, I think PSG and Liverpool play on Tuesday. So as long as we do our job at Villa Park, we'll know who we play in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, which sounds incredible. So guys, until the next video, which will be sort of Wednesday evening, enjoy your working week and up the mighty Villa. And Pete, get well soon, mate. Looking forward to the Holy Trinity podcast when I see it soon. Bye-bye.